I beg you. Let me inside. I need help. My time is near.
The white roses looked perfect. The crystal chandelier sparkled like stars. Chioma's wedding dress cost more than most people earn in a year. Everything was white and gold and expensive. She stood at the entrance of Crystal Gardens Hotel in Lekki, smiling for the cameras. Her makeup was flawless. Her hair was perfect. 500,000 people followed her on Instagram, and today they would all see her marry Emeka, the wealthy oil company executive who drove a Range Rover and wore designer watches. The photographer kept clicking. Flash, flash, flash. Chioma posed like a model. She tilted her head just right. She smiled with her lips closed, then with her teeth showing. She wanted every angle to be perfect. This was her day, her moment. Nothing could spoil it. Then she heard shouting at the gate. Security guards were dragging someone, a woman, pregnant, very pregnant. Her belly was huge and round under a faded wrapper. Her feet were bare and dusty. She clutched a small purse, and her face was wet with sweat and tears. Please, the woman begged. I need to see someone. Please, just let me talk to him. It's important. Madam, go away, the security man said, pushing her forward. This is a private event. No beggars allowed. The pregnant woman stumbled. She was crying now, her hand on her belly. I'm not begging. I just need 5 minutes. Please, it's about the groom. Chioma's smile vanished. Her perfectly painted lips pressed into a thin line. Guests were starting to turn and look. Phones came out. People started recording. This dirty, sweaty, pregnant woman was ruining everything. Ruining her perfect photos, ruining her perfect day. What is this? Chioma hissed, walking toward the gate in her expensive heels. Each step was sharp and angry. Who let this thing near my wedding? The pregnant woman looked up. Her eyes were red and tired. Please, I just want to. Shut up! Chioma's voice was loud and cruel. Look at you. You're dirty. You're spoiling my pictures. You're spoiling everything. The woman tried to speak again. The groom, Emeka. He? Something inside Chioma snapped. Rage boiled in her chest. Without thinking, she lifted her leg in that beautiful white dress and kicked the pregnant woman hard in the stomach. The woman fell backward with a cry. Her hands flew to her belly. She hit the ground and crawled into a ball, gasping for air. A small dark stain appeared on her wrapper. The crowd gasped. Someone screamed. Cameras kept recording. Flash, flash, flash. Chioma stood there, chest heaving, eyes wild. Remove the stain from my sight. She's spoiling my day, my wedding day. 2 security men grabbed the pregnant woman by her arms and dragged her toward the gate. She was crying, her voice weak and broken. You regret this. I came to warn you. You regret this. But Chioma didn't care. She smoothed down her dress, fixed her smile, and turned back to the photographer. Let's continue, she said, as if nothing had happened. Inside the hall, music played. Guests danced. Emeka, the groom, stood tall in his white suit, smiling and shaking hands. He didn't know what had just happened outside. Or maybe he did, but he said nothing. Auntie Blessing, Emeka's mother, sat at the high table. She wore a heavy gold jelly and expensive lace, but her face was troubled. She had seen everything from the window. She had seen her new daughter-in-law kick a pregnant woman. And something about the way that woman cried, the way she said Emeka's name, made Auntie Blessing's heart feel heavy. Outside, a kind security guard helped the pregnant woman to her feet. Madam, are you okay? Should I call ambulance? The woman shook her head, tears streaming down her face. Just help me to the road. I'll manage. He walked her to the bus stop and gave her 200 naira. She took it with shaking hands and whispered, Thank you. God bless you. As she sat on the bench waiting for a bus, she touched her belly gently. The baby kicked. She winced. I'm sorry, my baby. I tried. I tried to tell him. I tried to warn her. Blood seeped through her wrapper, warm and frightening. A woman selling pure water nearby saw it and screamed, "Ah! This woman is bleeding! Somebody help!" People gathered. A motorcyclist offered to take her to the nearest clinic. She climbed on, holding her belly, praying silently. Meanwhile, inside Crystal Gardens Hotel, Chioma cut her wedding cake. The guests clapped and cheered. Cameras flashed. She kissed Emeka and everyone shouted, "Congratulations!" But outside, in the fading evening light, a pregnant woman bled on the back of an Okada, racing toward a small chemist in Jakande. And in her heart, she whispered one thing over and over. She will pay, not by my hand, but God will make her pay. 2 weeks passed like a beautiful dream. Chioma and Emeka flew to Dubai for their honeymoon. They stayed in a hotel with gold elevators and a view of the Burj Khalifa. Every morning, Chioma posted pictures. Her in a bikini by the pool, her shopping at the Dubai Mall, her holding champagne at sunsets. The captions were always the same. Living my best life, blessed beyond measure, God is good. Her followers loved it. Thousands of likes poured in. Heart emojis filled the comments. But some comments were different. Some were angry. You celebrating after kicking a pregnant woman? Wicked bride. Heartless. The video is everywhere. Shame on you. Chioma deleted those comments. She blocked the account. She told Emeka, "People are just jealous. They can't stand to see me happy." Emeka kissed her forehead. "Don't mind them, my love. Haters will always hate." But in Lagos, far from the luxury of Dubai, another story was unfolding. Ngozi lay in a bed at the government hospital in Ori. The room smelled like disinfectant and old sheets. 5 other women shared the space with her. Mosquitoes buzzed near the ceiling. The fan barely worked. But none of that mattered, because in her arms, wrapped in a thin hospital blanket, was her baby girl. Ngozi stared at the tiny face, the small nose, the perfect lips. Tears rolled down her cheeks, but this time, they were not from pain. They were from love. "I will call you Chidinma," she whispered. "God is good. Even when people are wicked, God is still good." A nurse came in with paperwork. "Madam, you need to fill the birth certificate. Father's name?" Ngozi hesitated. Then she wrote in clear letters, "Emeka Okafor." The nurse glanced at the name and nodded. She didn't know. Nobody knew. But Ngozi knew. This baby girl was the daughter of the man who had just married in a grand wedding. The man who abandoned her 3 years ago when she told him she was pregnant. The man who blocked her number and pretended she didn't exist. That afternoon, a visitor arrived. A man in a neat shirt and trousers. He carried a brown envelope and a small notebook. His name was Mr. Adebayo, and he was a private investigator. "Miss Ngozi?" he asked gently. She nodded, holding her baby closer. "My name is Adebayo. I was sent by someone who wants to know the truth about what happened at the wedding." Ngozi's eyes widened. "Who sent you?" "I cannot say yet, but I need you to tell me everything. Why did you go to that wedding? What did you want to say?" Ngozi looked at her baby, then at Mr. Adebayo. For 3 years, she had kept quiet. For 3 years, she had suffered alone, selling pure water in traffic, sleeping in a small room in Ajigunle, eating once a day. She had kept quiet because she was ashamed, because she thought maybe it was her fault. Maybe she wasn't good enough for Emeka. Maybe she deserved to be abandoned. But now, looking at her innocent daughter, something broke open inside her. "I will tell you everything," she said. And she did. She told him how she met Emeka at the University of Lagos, how he was charming and sweet, how he bought her food and took her to the cinema, how he told her he loved her and wanted to marry her someday. She told him how she got pregnant in their final year, how Emeka's face changed when she told him, how he took her to meet his mother, Auntie Blessing, who looked at Ngozi's worn shoes and faded dress and said, "My son cannot marry a poor girl. You people just want to trap him." She told him how Emeka changed his number, how he graduated and got his job at the oil company and moved to Lekki and forgot she existed, how she dropped out of school to have the baby but lost it at 6 months because she couldn't afford proper medical care. She told him how she cried for months, how she struggled to survive, how she saw Emeka's wedding pictures online and something inside her said, "Go." Warn that woman. Tell her who she's marrying. I didn't go to beg, Ngozi said, her voice shaking. I went to warn her. I wanted to tell her that Emeka is not who he pretends to be, that he abandons people, that he lies. She paused. And I wanted to tell him I was pregnant again, that this baby is his, that he has a daughter. Mr. Adebayo wrote everything down. When he finished, he looked at her with sad, kind eyes. Do you have proof? Messages? Photos? Ngozi pulled out her old phone. She showed him messages from 4 years ago, pictures of her and Emeka smiling together, a video of him saying, "This is my baby mama. I love her die." Mr. Adebayo nodded slowly. Thank you, Miss Ngozi. You've been very brave. If you like this story, comment and share to support Ngozi's fight for justice. That evening, Mr. Adebayo drove to a big house in Victoria Island. The gates were tall and black. The compound was full of flowers. Inside, Auntie Blessing sat in her living room, waiting. Did you find her? She asked immediately. Yes, ma. Mr. Adebayo handed her the envelope with all the evidence. Auntie Blessing read slowly. With every line, her face grew darker. When she finished, she closed her eyes and whispered, Jesus. She had suspected something. The way that pregnant girl cried Emeka's name. The way she begged. But hearing the full story, seeing the proof, broke something inside her. My son lied to me, she said. He told me that girl was just a desperate ex. He said she was trying to spoil his wedding. Mr. Adebayo said nothing. Auntie Blessing stood and walked to the window. Outside, the evening sun painted the sky orange and pink. I need to speak to Emeka. 2 days later, Emeka and Chioma returned from Dubai. Their skin glowed. Their suitcases were full of designer bags and perfumes. Chioma posted a picture at the airport with the caption, "Back home but still floating." That night, Auntie Blessing invited Emeka to her house. Alone? He came smiling, carrying a gift. "Mama, I brought you something from Dubai." She didn't smile back. "Sit down, Emeka." He sat, confused. She placed the envelope on the table between them. "Open it." Emeka opened it. His face went pale. His hands started shaking. Inside were photos of him and Ngozi from university, printed messages, a copy of the baby's birth certificate, with his name as the father. "Mama, I can explain." "Explain what?" Her voice was cold. "Explain how you lied to me, how you abandoned the pregnant girl, how you let your wife kick her and your baby at your wedding." "Mama, that was a mistake. I was young. I didn't know what to do." "You are not young now, Emeka. You are a man, a married man, and you have a daughter." She pointed at the birth certificate. "Chidima, that's her name. Your daughter's name." Emeka's head dropped. He said nothing. "Does Chioma know?" "No, Mama. Please don't tell her. It will destroy everything." Everything. Auntie Blessing's heart was heavy. She loved her son, but she also feared God. "Emeka, secrets don't stay hidden forever. That girl, Ngozi, she suffered enough. And now she has your child. You must do what is right." "Mama, please. I'll take care of it quietly. I'll send her money. Just don't let Chioma find out." Auntie Blessing stared at her son for a long time. Then she said, "Go. But remember, the truth always comes out. Always." Emeka left quickly, his heart pounding. Meanwhile, Chioma lay in their big bed in Lekki, scrolling through Instagram. She smiled at the new comments on her honeymoon pictures. Life was perfect. She had everything: a rich husband, a big house, fame. She had no idea that beneath her perfect life, cracks were already forming, and soon everything would come crashing down. 3 months passed. Chioma's life looked perfect on the outside. She posted pictures of her new car, her designer handbags, her expensive dinners, but inside her marriage, something was wrong. Emeka became distant. He came home late. He was always on his phone, typing quickly and hiding the screen when she walked by. When she asked him what was wrong, he snapped at her. "Nothing is wrong, Chioma. Stop nagging me." But Chioma knew. Women always know. One morning, she checked their joint bank account. Money was missing. 50,000 naira, then another 70,000, then 100,000, all withdrawn without her knowing. Her hands shook as she scrolled through the transactions. Where was the money going? That afternoon, while Emeka was at work, Chioma went through his home office. She opened drawers, searched through papers. In the bottom drawer, hidden under files, she found a phone. An old Nokia, not his main phone. She turned it on. Her heart pounded as she scrolled through the messages. One name appeared again and again, and the messages made her blood run cold. "Please, the baby needs milk. Can you send something?" "Emeka, I'm begging you. Chidinma is sick. I need money for the hospital." "Why are you ignoring me? She's your daughter too." Chioma's hands trembled. Daughter? Baby? Who was Anne? She kept reading. Then she found an older message with a photo attached. A baby. A tiny, beautiful baby girl. And the message said, "This is Chidinma, your daughter. She has your eyes." Chioma dropped the phone. She sat on the floor, unable to breathe. The room spun around her. Her perfect husband, her perfect marriage. It was all a lie. That evening, when Emeka came home, Chioma was waiting in the living room. The Nokia phone sat on the glass table between them. Emeka froze when he saw it. His face went pale. "Who is N?" Chioma asked. Her voice was quiet, but inside she was screaming. "Chioma, I can explain." "Who is N?" she shouted this time. Emeka sat down slowly. He rubbed his face with his hands. "Her name is Ngozi. And she's my ex-girlfriend." Chioma's heart cracked. "And the baby?" Silence. "Emeka, answer me. Whose baby is that?" "Mine." His voice was barely a whisper. The world stopped. Chioma couldn't hear anything except the pounding of her own heart. She stood up, walked to him, and slapped him across the face. Hard. "You lied to me. You married me knowing you had a child?" "Chioma, please, let me explain. It was a mistake. I was going to tell you." When? When were you going to tell me? After I found out myself?" She was crying now, hot, angry tears streaming down her face. "How old is the baby?" 3 months. 3 months! Chioma's mind raced back. 3 months ago was their wedding. And then she remembered. The pregnant woman at the gate. The woman she kicked. The woman who said, "You regret this." Her legs gave out. She collapsed onto the couch, her whole body shaking. Oh my God, that woman, that pregnant woman at our wedding, that was her, wasn't it? Emeka said nothing. His silence was the answer. "I kicked her," Chioma whispered. "I kicked your baby mama while she was pregnant with your child." She looked at Emeka with horror. "You let me kick her. You stood there at our wedding and you knew. You knew and you let it happen." "I didn't know she would come," Emeka said quickly. "I swear, Chioma, I didn't know. She was supposed to stay away." "Supposed to?" Chioma's voice turned cold. "You've been in contact with her this whole time?" "Only to send money for the baby. With our money, you've been stealing from me to pay for your secret child." She grabbed the phone and threw it at him. It hit his chest and fell to the floor. Emeka stood up. His face changed. The guilt was gone. Now he looked angry. This is your fault too, Chioma. My fault? Yes. If you hadn't caused that scene at the wedding, nobody would have recorded it. Nobody would have asked questions. We could have lived peacefully. Chioma stared at him in disbelief. You're blaming me? You lied to me. You married me while your ex-girlfriend was pregnant with your baby. And you're blaming me? You're the one who kicked her. You're the one who made it go viral. Now everyone is asking questions. People are threatening to leak the story. Do you know what this would do to my reputation? To my job? Chioma laughed, but it was a bitter, broken sound. Your reputation? Your reputation? What about me, Emeka? What about my life? But Emeka was already walking toward their bedroom. I'm done with this conversation. Where are you going? To park. I need space. Space? You're leaving me? He stopped at the door and looked back at her. His eyes were cold. No, Chioma, you're leaving me. This house belongs to my family. You have 2 weeks to move out. And just like that, he was gone. Chioma sat alone in the living room. The big, expensive living room that was supposed to be hers forever. She looked around at the leather couches, the flat screen TV, the chandelier. None of it was hers. None of it had ever been hers. She pulled out her phone and opened Instagram. Her last post had thousands of likes. People commenting about how blessed she was, how beautiful her life was. She started typing a new post, then stopped. What could she say? That her life was a lie? That her husband had a secret baby? That she had kicked the pregnant woman and now karma was destroying her? Instead, she scrolled through the comments on her old posts. And that's when she saw it. Someone had posted a link. Breaking news. Bride who kicked pregnant woman was kicking her husband's baby mama. Chioma clicked the link. Her hands shook as she read the article. Everything was there. Emeka's affair with Ngozi, the abandoned pregnancy, the new baby, and the video of Chioma kicking Ngozi at the wedding with a caption, "She kicked his baby mama and didn't even know it." The article had been shared 10,000 times. Chioma's phone started ringing. Her mother, her friends, unknown numbers. Everyone wanted to know if it was true. She turned off her phone and curled up on the couch. Outside, the sun was setting over Lagos. Inside, Chioma's perfect life was burning to ashes. And somewhere in Ajegunle, Ngozi held her daughter close and whispered, "Justice is coming, my baby. Slowly, but it's coming." 6 months passed like a slow, painful death. Chioma's life, once shiny and perfect, crumbled piece by piece. First, the divorce. Emeka's family made sure she got nothing. The house belonged to them. The car belonged to the company. Even the furniture they said was theirs. Chioma moved out with only her clothes and personal items, stuffed into 3 suitcases. She went to stay with her friend Amaka in Surulere, but after 2 weeks, Amaka asked her to leave. "I'm sorry, Chioma, but my husband is uncomfortable. The whole internet is talking about you. It's too much drama." Drama. That's what her life had become. Drama. Next, her sponsors dropped her. The fashion brand that paid her 200,000 naira a month sent a cold email. "Due to recent events, we will no longer be working with you. Best wishes." The makeup company, the hair company, the shoe brand. One by one, they all disappeared. Her Instagram followers started dropping. 500,000 became 400,000. Then 300,000. People unfollowed her or left hateful comments. Wicked woman, you got what you deserve. Karma is real. Chioma tried to defend herself. She posted a long message explaining her side of the story. But it didn't matter. The internet had decided she was the villain, and nothing she said could change that. Money became a problem. Real problem. The kind where you check your bank account and your stomach turns. Chioma had been used to spending freely. Now she counted every naira. Rent in a small self-contained in Surulere took most of her savings. Food became bread and eggs. Sometimes just bread. One morning, she woke up and realized she had only 5,000 naira left. She sat on the edge of her small bed and cried. How did she get here? 6 months ago, she was a bride in a million naira dress. Now she was broke, alone, and hated by thousands of people. She needed work, any work. That's how Chioma found herself at Balogun Market selling clothes. She rented a small space from a woman who felt sorry for her. Every morning, Chioma woke up at 5 a.m., took a bus to Lagos Island, and stood in the hot sun calling out to customers. Fine clothes, affordable, come and see. Sometimes people recognized her. They whispered and pointed. Some laughed, some insulted her. Isn't that the bride who kicked the pregnant woman? Look how she's suffering now. God is not asleep. Chioma learned to keep her head down. She learned to swallow her pride. Pride, she realized too late, was expensive and she couldn't afford it anymore. Meanwhile, in another part of Lagos, Ngozi's life was changing too, but in the opposite direction. One afternoon, while Ngozi was selling baby clothes at Tejosho Market, a woman in an expensive car stopped. She was elegant, with kind eyes and a warm smile. Her name was Mrs. Adeyemi, and she ran a women's rights organization called Stand Strong Foundation. Excuse me, Mrs. Adeyemi said. Are you Ngozi, the lady from the wedding video? Ngozi's heart raced. She didn't like being recognized. It always brought shame. Yes, ma. I've been looking for you, Mrs. Adeyemi said gently. I want to help you. Ngozi didn't understand. Help me how? My organization supports women who have been abandoned or abused. I saw your story online. What that man did to you, abandoning you while pregnant, and what that bride did, kicking you, it's not right. We want to help you get justice. Ngozi's eyes filled with tears. For so long, she had felt alone. Now, someone was offering to help. Mrs. Adeyemi's organization did more than talk. They gave Ngozi a lawyer, a good one. They helped her file a case against Emeka for child support and abandonment. They also sued him for the assault, for letting Chioma kick her while pregnant. The case went to court. Emeka tried to fight it, but the evidence was too strong. The messages, the photos, the birth certificate, even Auntie Blessing testified against her own son. She couldn't lie anymore. The judge ruled in Ngozi's favor. Emeka was ordered to pay 300,000 naira a month in child support. He was also fined for emotional damages. But the help didn't stop there. Mrs. Adeyemi introduced Ngozi to a businesswoman named Mrs. Okonkwo, who owned a chain of baby stores. Mrs. Okonkwo was impressed by Ngozi's strength and resilience. I want to invest in you, Mrs. Okonkwo said. Let me help you start your own business properly this time. And she did. Within months, Ngozi opened a small shop in Ikeja, selling baby clothes, diapers, and toys. The shop was called Chidinma's Closet, named after her daughter. Business was slow at first, but word spread. People loved Ngozi's story. They wanted to support her. Soon, a local TV station invited her for an interview. Ngozi sat in the studio, her daughter on her lap, and told her story, not with bitterness, but with grace. I was abandoned, humiliated, kicked while pregnant, she said calmly. But I survived, and now I'm here to tell other women, don't give up. You are stronger than you think. The interview went viral. Ngozi became a symbol of resilience. Women sent her messages of encouragement. Some came to her shop just to meet her. Her business grew. One evening, as Ngozi closed her shop, she saw herself on a TV screen in a nearby electronics store. She was on the news. The headline read, "From Beggar to Business Owner, Ngozi's Inspiring Story." She stood there, watching herself, holding Chidinma close. Tears rolled down her cheeks, but this time they were tears of gratitude. "We made it, my baby," she whispered. "We made it." And in that moment, Ngozi realized something powerful. The woman who kicked her, Chioma, had tried to destroy her, but instead, she had pushed Ngozi into her destiny. Sometimes, Ngozi thought, your enemies don't break you, they make you. If you're inspired by Ngozi's strength, share this story to encourage someone today. Across the city, Chioma's life continued to unravel. One afternoon, while selling clothes at Balogun Market, she saw a crowd gathered around a TV in a nearby shop. Curious, she moved closer. On the screen was Ngozi. Chioma froze. Her heart stopped. The woman she had kicked, the woman she had insulted and humiliated, was on TV. But she wasn't begging anymore. She was glowing, confident, successful, surrounded by people who loved and respected her. The interviewer asked, Ngozi, do you have any message for the woman who kicked you? Ngozi paused, then smiled gently. I forgive her. I don't carry hate in my heart anymore. I pray she finds peace. Chioma's knees buckled. She grabbed the edge of a table to steady herself. Forgive! How could Ngozi forgive? After everything? Tears streamed down Chioma's face. Right there, in the middle of the market, she broke down. People stared, but she didn't care. She sobbed, her whole body shaking. An older woman, a market seller, saw her and came over. She didn't know who Chioma was. She just saw a young woman in pain. My dear, what is wrong? The woman asked gently. Chioma couldn't speak. She just cried. The woman pulled her to sit on a bench. Whatever it will pass. Life is like a circle. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, but it keeps moving. Chioma wiped her face. I did something terrible, and now I'm paying for it. The woman nodded. We all make mistakes, my dear. The question is, what will you do now? Will you stay in your guilt, or will you make it right? That night, Chioma lay on her small mattress, staring at the ceiling. The woman's words echoed in her mind. Make it right. But how? How could she fix what she had broken? She thought about Ngozi, about the kick, about the cruelty in her own heart that day. She had been so proud, so sure of herself. She had looked at Ngozi and seen trash. But Ngozi wasn't trash. Ngozi was a woman, a mother, a human being with feelings and dreams. And Chioma had tried to destroy her. That guilt, heavy and suffocating, pressed on Chioma's chest. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't sleep. For months, she had blamed everyone else, Emeka for lying, the internet for hating her, life for being unfair. But deep down, she knew the truth. She had done this to herself. The next morning, Chioma made a decision. She pulled out a pen and paper, something she hadn't used in years, and she began to write. Dear Ngozi, I don't know if you will ever read this. I don't know if you even want to hear from me. But I need to write this. Not for you, but for me. Because I can't live with this guilt anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for kicking you. I'm sorry for treating you like you were nothing. I'm sorry for being so cruel, so heartless, so proud. I didn't know you were carrying Emeka's child that day. But honestly, it wouldn't have mattered. I was so full of myself, so angry that a beggar was ruining my perfect day, that I didn't see you as a person. I saw you as an obstacle. Now I've lost everything. My marriage, my money, my reputation, and people say I deserve it. Maybe they're right. But more than losing those things, I've lost something worse. I've lost myself. I don't recognize who I was that day. And I'm trying, really trying, to become someone better. I don't deserve your forgiveness. I know that. But I'm asking anyway, not because I expect it, but because I need you to know that I see my sin. I see what I did, and I'm sorry. I saw you on TV. You look happy, peaceful, strong. I'm glad. You deserve every good thing coming to you. I hope one day I can be even half as strong as you. Sincerely, Chioma. She folded the letter carefully and put it in an envelope. Then she asked around the market until she found someone who knew where Ngozi's shop was. She paid the dispatch rider to deliver it. 2 days later, Ngozi received the letter. She read it slowly, sitting in her shop after closing time. Chidinma slept peacefully in a baby cot beside her. When she finished, Ngozi folded the letter and placed it on the table. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath. For months, she had carried anger, hurt, bitterness, but slowly, with the help of her faith and the support of good people, she had let it go. Now, reading Chioma's words, she felt something unexpected. Pity. Ngozi pulled out her phone and typed a message. I received your letter. If you want to talk, meet me at my shop tomorrow at 4 p.m. Chidinma's Closet, Ikeja. She sent it, then whispered a prayer. God, give me the right words. The next day, Chioma arrived at the shop. Her hands shook as she pushed the door open. A small bell chimed. Inside, the shop was bright and clean. Baby clothes hung neatly on racks. Soft music played. And there, behind the counter, was Ngozi. She looked different, healthier. Her hair was neat. Her clothes were simple but clean. She looked up when Chioma entered, and their eyes met. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then Ngozi said quietly, "Sit down." Chioma sat on a small chair, her hands folded in her lap. She felt like a child being scolded, but Ngozi's face wasn't angry. It was calm. I read your letter, Ngozi said. I meant every word, Chioma whispered. Her voice cracked. I'm so sorry. I know sorry isn't enough. I know I can never take back what I did. But I need you to know that I see it now. I see how wicked I was. Ngozi nodded slowly. Do you know what hurt the most? It wasn't the kick. It wasn't even the pain. It was the way you looked at me. Like I was dirt. Like I didn't deserve to breathe the same air as you. Chioma's tears fell freely. I was wrong. I was so wrong. Yes, you were. Ngozi's voice was firm but not cruel. But I've learned something, Chioma. Holding anger only hurts me. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't change what happened. So, I forgive you. Chioma's head snapped up. You forgive me? Yes. Not because you deserve it, but because I deserve peace. And I can't have peace if I'm carrying hate. Chioma sobbed. She covered her face with her hands and cried like she had never cried before. All the pride, all the pain, all the shame poured out. Ngozi watched her quietly. Then she stood, walked over, and placed a hand on Chioma's shoulder. Forgiveness doesn't mean what you did was okay. It means I'm choosing to let it go. But you, Chioma, you have to forgive yourself too. And you have to change. Chioma looked up, her face wet with tears. I don't know how. I don't know who I am anymore. Ngozi sat down beside her. Then find out. Start over. Not with pride this time, but with humility. Help people instead of hurting them. Build people up instead of tearing them down. They sat together in silence. Outside, Lagos traffic roared. Horns honked. People shouted. But inside that small shop, there was peace. Before Chioma left, she looked at baby Chidinma sleeping in the cot. She's beautiful. Thank you, Ngozi said softly. Does Emeka see her? Yes, the court made him. He pays support now, but he doesn't love her. Not really. He just does what he's forced to do. Ngozi's voice was sad but strong. But it's okay. She has me, and I'm enough. Chioma nodded. You are. You're more than enough. As she walked out of the shop and into the busy street, something shifted inside Chioma. The weight on her chest felt lighter. Not gone, but lighter. She pulled out her phone and opened her notepad. She typed, things I need to do. 1. Find purpose. 2. Help others. 3. Become better. It wasn't much, but it was a start. 1 year passed, a whole year of slow, painful, beautiful change. Chioma didn't go back to her old life. She couldn't even if she wanted to. That life was gone. Instead, she built a new one, a quieter one, a more meaningful one. She started volunteering at a shelter for single mothers in Yaba. At first, the women didn't trust her. They knew who she was. They had seen the video, but Chioma kept showing up week after week. She helped cook meals. She watched children while mothers went for job interviews. She listened to their stories without judgment. Slowly, they began to accept her. One of the mothers, a young girl named Blessing, who was only 19, asked her one day, "Why are you here? People like you don't come to places like this." Chioma paused from folding baby clothes. "I'm here because I need to be. Because I learned the hard way that pride destroys, but service heals." Blessing nodded slowly, studying her face. "You're different from the woman in that video." "I hope so," Chioma said quietly. "I'm trying to be." Chioma also started a blog. She called it From Pride to Purpose. At first, she was terrified to write. What if people attacked her again? What if they laughed? But she did it anyway. Her first post was simple and honest. "My name is Chioma. A year ago, I was the bride who kicked a pregnant woman at my wedding. You probably saw the video. You probably hated me. I don't blame you. I hated myself too. I'm not here to make excuses. What I did was cruel and unforgivable. But I'm here to say this. I'm sorry. And I'm trying to change. This blog is my journey. From a proud, selfish woman to someone who wants to live with purpose. I don't know if I'll succeed, but I'm going to try. If you've ever made a terrible mistake, if you've ever hurt someone and wished you could take it back, this is for you. We can't change the past, but we can change who we become." The post got 50 views, then 100, then 1,000 comments poured in. Some were still angry, but some were kind, right? "Thank you for being honest. I respect you for owning your mistake. This gives me hope that I can change too." Chioma read every comment, the kind ones and the cruel ones, and she kept writing. She wrote about her divorce, about losing everything, about learning to live with less, about finding joy in service instead of things. Slowly, her followers grew, not influencer numbers like before, but real people, broken people, hurting people, people who needed to hear that change was possible. One evening, 6 months into her volunteering, the shelter director, Sister Mary, called Chioma into her office. "Chioma, I've been watching you. You've changed. Really changed." Chioma smiled softly. "I'm trying, sister. I know, and I want to offer you something. We need someone to coordinate our programs. It doesn't pay much, just 70,000 naira a month, but it's honest work, meaningful work. Are you interested?" Chioma's eyes filled with tears. 70,000 naira. A year ago, she spent more than that on one handbag, but now it felt like a fortune. More than that, it felt like purpose. "Yes," she said. "Yes, I'm interested." That night, Chioma called her mother for the first time in months. Their relationship had been broken since the divorce. Her mother had been so ashamed. "Mama," Chioma said when she answered, "I got a job." Her mother's voice was cautious. "What kind of job?" "At a shelter for single mothers. It's not much, but it's good work." There was silence, then her mother's voice, soft and emotional. "I'm proud of you, Chioma." Those words broke something open in Chioma's heart. She cried. Her mother cried. And for the first time in a long time, Chioma felt like maybe, just maybe, she was becoming someone she could be proud of. Meanwhile, Ngozi's life continued to flourish. Her shop expanded. She opened a second location in Surulere. She was invited to speak at conferences about women's empowerment. Her story inspired thousands. But more than business success, Ngozi found something she thought she had lost forever: love. His name was Chidi. He was a teacher at a primary school near her shop. He came in one day to buy a gift for his niece, and they started talking. He was gentle, kind, patient. He didn't care about her past. He loved her daughter as if she were his own. 6 months into dating, Chidi proposed, not with a big show or expensive ring, just the two of them, sitting in her shop. After closing, Chidinma playing nearby. Ngozi, he said, holding her hand. I know you've been hurt. I know you've been through pain. But I want to spend the rest of my life making sure you never feel that pain again. Will you marry me? Ngozi cried. But these were happy tears. Healing tears. Yes. Yes, I will. 2 years after that terrible wedding day, Ngozi stood in a small church in Ikeja, wearing a simple white dress. No cameras, no social media, just family and close friends. Chidi stood at the altar, smiling at her like she was the most precious thing in the world. As she walked down the aisle, carrying Chidinma in one arm, Ngozi remembered the girl she used to be, the one who was kicked and humiliated, the one who cried on the street, wondering if life would ever get better. And she whispered to God, Thank you. Thank you for turning my pain into purpose. After the wedding, there was a small reception. Simple food, jollof rice and chicken, soft drinks, laughter. During the speeches, Mrs. Adeyemi from Stand Strong Foundation stood up. I want to say something, she said, her voice strong. 2 years ago, Ngozi was at her lowest, abandoned, pregnant, humiliated, but she didn't give up. She stood up. She fought, and now look at her. Married, successful, happy. Her story reminds us all that our current situation is not our final destination. Everyone clapped. Ngozi wiped tears from her eyes. Then, something unexpected happened. The door to the small hall opened and Chioma walked in. The room went quiet. People recognized her. Whispers started. Ngozi's family stiffened, but Ngozi stood up and walked toward Chioma. You came, Ngozi said softly. Chioma nodded, nervous. I didn't know if I should, but I wanted to. I wanted to see you happy. In her hands was a small wrapped gift. It's not much, just some baby clothes for Chidinma. And this, she handed Ngozi an envelope. Inside was a handwritten card. It read, Thank you for teaching me that forgiveness is not weakness, it's strength. I'm still learning to be better, but you showed me it's possible. Congratulations on your new beginning. You deserve every bit of happiness. Chioma. Chioma. Ngozi read it and smiled. Then, in front of everyone, she hugged Chioma. The room gasped, but Ngozi didn't care. Thank you for coming, she whispered. Chioma hugged her back, tears streaming down her face. Thank you for forgiving me. Someone started clapping, then another person. Then the whole room erupted in applause. It wasn't applause for a show or a performance. It was applause for something real, for forgiveness, for redemption, for two women who chose healing over hate. Later that evening, as the reception ended and guests left, Ngozi stood outside holding Chidinma. Her husband Chidi wrapped his arm around her. The Lagos sky was turning orange and pink. Beautiful. Are you happy? Chidi asked. Ngozi looked at her daughter, then at her husband, then at the small building where her friends and family had celebrated with her. Yes, she said, I am. God turned my pain into glory, my shame into honor, my tears into joy. Across the city, Chioma sat in her small room in Yaba. She had just gotten back from the wedding. On her table was a journal. She opened it and began to write. Today I went to Ngozi's wedding. 2 years ago, I kicked her while she was pregnant. Today, she hugged me. I don't deserve her kindness, but I'm grateful for it. I've learned that life humbles the proud and lifts the humble. I was once on top, thinking I was better than everyone. Now I'm at the bottom, learning what really matters. Things don't matter. Status doesn't matter. What matters is how you treat people, how you love, how you serve. I'm not the woman I was 2 years ago, and I'm not yet the woman I want to be. But I'm getting there, one day at a time, one act of kindness at a time. If you're reading this and you've made terrible mistakes like I did, please know it's not too late. You can change, you can become better. It won't be easy, it will hurt. You'll lose things, but you gain something more valuable. You gain yourself back. She closed the journal and looked out her window at the busy Lagos streets. Hawkers shouted, cars honked. Life moved forward, messy and loud and beautiful. And for the first time in 2 years, Chioma smiled. Not because her life was perfect, but because she had learned the most important lesson of all. Pride destroys, but humility saves. Wealth can disappear, but character lasts forever. And forgiveness, both giving it and receiving it, is the greatest gift you can ever experience. 3 years later, on a sunny Saturday morning, a charity event was held at the National Stadium in Lagos. The banner read, "From Broken to Beautiful, a Women's Empowerment Fair." Ngozi was one of the main speakers. Her business had grown into a full brand. She employed 15 women, all single mothers. Her story had been featured in magazines and on TV shows across Nigeria. But she never forgot where she came from. Every month, her company donated clothes and supplies to women's shelters across Lagos. As she stood on the stage, microphone in hand, she looked out at the crowd. Hundreds of women, young and old, rich and poor, broken and healing. "My name is Ngozi," she began, "and 3 years ago, I was kicked while pregnant at a wedding. Many of you saw the video. It was the lowest moment of my life." The crowd was silent, listening. But that kick didn't break me. It pushed me. It pushed me to fight, to survive, to rise. Today, I'm here to tell you, whatever you're going through, you can overcome it. Your current pain is not your final story. The crowd erupted in applause. And in the back of that crowd, wearing a simple dress and a humble smile, stood Chioma. She clapped loudly, tears streaming down her face. Beside her was Sister Mary from the shelter and some of the mothers Chioma had helped over the years. They didn't know her past. They only knew her as the kind coordinator who listened and cared. After Ngozi's speech, she stepped down from the stage. As she walked through the crowd, she spotted Chioma. Their eyes met. Ngozi walked over. No words were needed. She simply took Chioma's hand and squeezed it. Chioma squeezed back. Two women, once enemies, now standing together, both broken, both healed, both prove that redemption is real. As the sun set over Lagos that evening, painting the sky in shades of gold and purple, one truth remained clear. Life will humble you, it will break you, it will test you. But if you choose humility over pride, kindness over cruelty, and forgiveness over bitterness, it will also heal you. And sometimes, the person you hurt the most will become the person who teaches you how to truly live. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear that change is possible. Comment below if you believe in second chances. And remember, it's never too late to become better.